Hello and welcome to Fast and Factual on Firstpost, where we get you the top 50 stories from around the world. I'm Alison Lagrange, coming to you live from Durban, South Africa. Let's begin. Our top focus comes in from the escalating conflict in West Asia. An Israeli strike killed at least 15 people at a school in Gaza's Nuseirat camp, and at least 50 people were wounded, including women and children. Now, the school was sheltering displaced Palestinians. The Israeli strike killed 3 others outside the Al-Aqsa hospital. The Israeli military said Hezbollah launched a drone attack on northern Israel, killing 4 soldiers yesterday. The attack targeted a military training camp in Binyamina. Now, according to emergency services, the attack wounded at least 60 people. The strike was in response to Israeli attack that killed at least 22 people in Lebanon's Beirut last week. Hezbollah also claimed to have attacked Israeli troops trying to infiltrate into southern Lebanon. In Israel, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu urged UN Chief Antonio Guterres to move peacekeepers deployed in South Lebanon. He said the peacekeepers could be harmed as the IDF targets Hezbollah. Israeli forces allege that Hezbollah uses peacekeepers as human shields. His appeal to the UN chief came a day after Guterres refused to withdraw UN peacekeepers from the border area. So far, at least 5 peacekeepers have been wounded due to Israeli attacks. Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi has warned Israel that the country has no red line when it comes to defending its people. He added that Iran was fully prepared for a war situation. This comes after a report stated that the U.S. believed Israel may target Iranian military and energy infrastructure. Israel's Defense Minister Yoav Gallant warned Iran that the IDF will hit the nation in a lethal and precise way. Meanwhile, Iran has banned pagers and walkie-talkies on all flights. The move comes weeks after explosion of such devices in Lebanon. The explosion back then killed at least 39 people and wounded nearly 3,000. Lebanon had blamed Israel for the attack. The Pentagon is set to deploy a high-altitude anti-missile system called THAAD in Israel. It will also send additional U.S. military crew for its ally. The move is to help Israel to protect itself from potential Iranian missile attacks. President Joe Biden's administration claims that the deployment underscores United States' ironclad commitment to Israel. With less than 30 days left for the U.S. presidential elections, repeated assassination attempts continue to trouble former President Donald Trump. Yesterday, an assassination attempt on Trump was thwarted for the 3rd time. Sheriffs arrested a 49-year-old man from California's Coachella. The accused, Vem Miller, carried a shotgun and a loaded handgun along with him. Although the man has been released on bail, he still faces a court hearing on the 2nd of January. And moving on to news from the war in Europe. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky accused North Korea of sending troops to Russia's army. Zelensky raised concerns over increasing alliance between Russia and North Korea. He has appealed for more support from his allies to prevent a bigger war. Zelensky's comments came days after he visited several European capitals for more military and financial help. And South Korea has said that it is fully prepared to respond to North Korea's action over the drone dispute. North Korea has accused South Korea of flying drones over Pyongyang to drop propaganda leaflets. It says the leaflets carry inflammatory rumors. Pyongyang has now warned the South that another drone detection would lead to a declaration of war. But Seoul's military has already denied the accusations. And China sends fighter jets and warships around Taiwan carrying out military drills. Beijing said the drills were aimed at sending a stern warning to the new regime on the island. The drills followed Taiwanese new President Lai Ching-te's speech about defending Taiwan's sovereignty. Lai Ching-te has vowed to protect the island. The Taiwan military is on heightened alert. And flights of 2 Indian air carriers received bomb threats on Monday. 2 Indigo flights, which were set to travel from Mumbai to Jeddah and Muscat, were on alert, and the aircraft were taken to an isolated bay. Earlier in the day, an Air India flight also received a threat while traveling from Mumbai to New York. The flight had to be diverted to Delhi. Investigation into the matter is currently underway. And continuing with news from India, Delhi and Gujarat police have seized drugs worth nearly $600 million in a joint operation. The police recovered 518 kilograms of drugs in Ankleshwar city, and the joint team raided the premises of Avkar Drugs Limited Company yesterday. And Spain's Conservative Party has called for Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez's resignation over corruption claims. The calls for resignation follow corruption allegations against Sanchez's associate and former minister, José Luis Ábalos. Now, he is accused of getting involved in a corruption scandal over the purchase of face masks during the COVID pandemic. Now, Ábalos was ousted from Sanchez's Socialist Party after allegations came out in February. A passenger train crashed in Egypt's Minya province yesterday, killing at least 1 person. More than 20 people were also reportedly injured. Officials said a locomotive collided with the rear of another train traveling from Aswan to Cairo. 2 coaches of the passenger train fell into water after the collision. Sudanese military carried out an airstrike on a marketplace in the capital Khartoum. At least 23 people lost their lives in the attack. The war between rapid support forces and Sudan's military has killed thousands of people. And on to some climate news now. Powerful storm swept through Brazil's Sao Paulo city. Now, the storm killed at least 8 people. The record-strong winds of up to 108 kilometers per hour uprooted trees and knocked down power lines, leaving around 1.4 million households in a blackout. In Bosnia, rescue teams from neighboring nations have joined efforts to clear up debris and rubble. This comes after flash floods and landslides battered parts of the country, killing at least 18 people. The debris from widespread devastation is clogging the river Neretva. And Zambians are reeling under energy crisis induced by climate change. The country is facing its worst blackouts due to severe drought in the region. The drought has left the region with insufficient water to run its hydroelectric turbines. The drought in the region is attributed to the El Niño weather pattern and warming temperatures. And floods devastate central Nigeria, displacing thousands. The floods are caused by 2 major rivers, the Niger and the Benue in the West African country. According to the Red Cross disaster management officials, the floods have ravaged 60,000 hectares of land, displacing 60,000 people. And climate change has forced fishermen in Cambodia to raise eels. This says the Tonle Sap Lake in Cambodia doesn't have enough fish anymore. Now, the Cambodian water body was once the largest freshwater lake in Southeast Asia. However, strong storms caused by climate change and deforestation and global warming have disturbed the habitat in and around the lake. And moving on to business and tech news now. Starship, the giant rocket of Elon Musk's spaceship firm SpaceX, has achieved a milestone. The booster of the 2-stage rocket successfully landed back to Earth during its 5th test flight. Starship was launched yesterday from Texas. The rocket's Super Heavy booster separated from the spacecraft at an altitude of roughly 70 kilometers. It later descended to Earth, where it landed on 2 large metal arms fitted to the launch tower. Meanwhile, the first part of the spacecraft took a tour of Earth and landed in the Indian Ocean. Apple is reportedly planning to launch a new version of its virtual reality headset, the Vision Pro, next year. The new headset is expected to cost about $2,000. Reports say that to make the headset more affordable than the current version, Apple would remove some features. The iPhone maker would also likely use cheaper materials and a less powerful processor. And Taiwanese chip giant TSMC plans to further expand its presence in Europe. The firm is already building a chip fabrication plant in Germany's Dresden. A senior Taiwanese official has said that TSMC wants to build another plant in Europe. It would focus on making chips that cater to artificial intelligence. TSMC is spending tens of billions of dollars to set up new fabrication sites in the US and Japan as well. Meanwhile, analysts expect TSMC to report a 40% surge in profit in the third quarter. The firm will report its financial results for the July to September quarter later this week. The survey of analysts has forecast that the chipmaker would see its profits jump to over $12 billion. The Taiwanese firm has benefited from the surge in demand for AI chips. TSMC is the world's largest manufacturer of chips. And Australia's TPG Telecom is selling its fibre and fixed network infrastructure assets to rival Vocus. Now, the Telecom Group would garner over $3.5 billion for its vast internet infrastructure. The network includes more than 50,000 kilometres of fibre cable and about 15,000 kilometres of international submarine cables. And South Korean automaker Hyundai has kick-started the initial public offering of its Indian unit today. The $3.3 billion IPO of the Hyundai India will be the country's largest ever share offering. The firm is selling over 142 million shares to investors. Bids for large institutional investors have started today, and retail investors will get a chance to buy the automaker shares from tomorrow. The stock will be listed on the stock exchange on the 22nd of October. And Chinese state-owned car maker GAC is planning to set up a manufacturing plant in Europe. The firm's international business head says that they want to make electric cars in the region. This comes as the European Union is set to impose higher tariffs on the import of Chinese EVs. GAC executive says that local production would be one of the ways to resolve this issue. And Italy's largest bank, Intesa Sanpaolo, has issued an apology, and this comes after a security breach that targeted the accounts of many high-profile figures. It reportedly also included Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni. The bank said that it found one of its employees was spying on the accounts of thousands of customers. The employee has been fired and a complaint has been registered with the Italian Data Protection Authority. And the world's 26 poorest economies are deeper in debt today than at any point in time since 2006. And this is according to a new report by the World Bank. The report includes countries like Ethiopia, Chad, Congo, Afghanistan, and Yemen, among others. The World Bank says that these countries are more vulnerable now to natural disasters, and the report noted that while the rest of the world has largely recovered from the COVID-19 shocks, these poorest global economies are still struggling. The Indian currency, the rupee, has dropped to an all-time low against the US dollar. It was trading at 84.07 rupees against a dollar in currency exchanges. The Indian currency has been under pressure as foreign investors have been pulling their money out of the Indian markets. Reports say that foreign investors have sold about $8 billion of Indian assets in the last 10 sessions. The rupee has been hovering near the 84 mark for about 2 months. And moving on to sports, and we start with cricket. Australia beat India by 9 runs in the Women's T20 World Cup. Batting first, Australia put together 151 runs on the scoreboard in Sharjah. Now, chasing the 152-run target, Indian captain Harmanpreet Kaur scored 54 runs but India's women in blue fell short of winning by just 9 runs. And keeping the focus on Women's T20 World Cup, England beat Scotland by 10 wickets to move on top of Group B. Batting first, Scotland scored 109 runs for 6 wickets. The modest 110-run target was chased down by England with 10 wickets to spare. England's Maya Varcher scored an unbeaten 62-run innings, and this is the tournament's highest individual score so far. And Pakistan will take on New Zealand in the Women's T20 World Cup. The result will decide the second semi-finals from Group A, and both New Zealand and Pakistan are in contention to be finalists to join Australia in the knockout stages. And in football, Portugal beat Poland 3-1 in their Nations League clash in Warsaw. Portugal's Bernardo Silva scored the first goal for his team in the 26th minute. Portugal's lead was quickly extended by Cristiano Ronaldo's goal in the 37th minute, and the Polish side struggled to return to the game, as their lone goal came during the 78th minute. Now, as the game closed on Portugal's Jan Bednarek, scored another goal in the 88th minute. And England beat Finland 3-1 in their Nations League campaign. Jack Grealish opened the scoring for England in the 18th minute. England's Alexander Arnold had beat the free kick from 20 metres over the wall in the 74th minute. 10 minutes later, Declan Rice made a bursting run to score England's third goal, and Finland's only goal came in the 87th minute when Arttu Hoskinen had converted a header into goal. And Manchester City beat Liverpool in the Women's Super League. The City's Khadija Shaw scored twice in the second half as her side came from behind to beat Liverpool 2-1 on the 13th of October. For Liverpool, Olivia Smith scored the lone goal in the 41st minute. Now, Liverpool failed to defend or extend the lead as City's Khadija Shaw came hunting for the goalpost. And in tennis news, world number 1 Jannik Sinner won the men's Shanghai Masters title. The Italian beat Serbia's Novak Djokovic 7-6, 6-3 to pick up his 7th title this year. Sinner took a crucial break in the 4th game of the second set. The Italian held his nerve and hit an ace to finish the match. The match lasted 1 hour and 37 minutes. And with this win, Sinner also denied Djokovic his 100th career singles title. And in badminton, Indian shuttler Tanya Hemant won the women's singles title at the Bendigo International Challenge Tournament in Australia. In the final, the Indian defeated her Chinese Taipei counterpart 21-17, 21-17 in straight sets. The match lasted 41 minutes. And this is Tanya's 3rd international title and 1st of the year. And moving to golf, Dan Bradbury won the 2024 Open de France on the 13th of October. The Englishman took home his 2nd World Tour title. Bradbury also won $550,000 as cash prize. A total of 11 other players won over $54,000 or more from the coveted prize purse. And the International Olympic Committee, or the IOC, has withheld Indian body's share of funds from the Olympic Solidarity Program. The IOC claimed that the internal disputes at Indian Olympics Association needs clarification, and that except for direct payments to athletes on Olympic scholarships, the IOC and Olympic Solidarity will not make any payments to the IOA. And moving on to news from the world of showbiz. Indian Oscar-winning musician A.R. Rahman has backed the U.S. presidential candidate Kamala Harris. He recorded a 30-minute performance video for her campaign. The video's teaser features Rahman's biggest hit songs, along with the messages that promote Harris's candidacy. Jailed American singer R. Kelly has been accused of sexual abuse by his daughter, Buku Abi. Now, in a documentary, Kelly's daughter revealed that the incident happened when she was 10 years old. She said that she was too scared to tell anyone, even her mother. Now, Buku Abai says that jail is a well-suited place for her father. Kelly is currently in jail after being charged with racketeering and sex trafficking in 2021. And rapper Ye, formerly known as Kanye West, has been sued by his former assistant for allegedly drugging and sexually assaulting her at rapper Sean Combs' party. She stated that her drink was laced with an unidentifiable drug, after which she felt disoriented. The assistant worked with Ye from 2021 to 2022. Ye has not reacted to this complaint yet. And singer Justin Bieber and wife Hailey are reportedly keeping their distance from the latter's parents. Hailey's relationship with her parents has been deteriorating, with tension increasing after she became pregnant. Hailey didn't inform her family about the pregnancy for months. She had a fallout with her father when he publicly asked for prayers for the couple, a gesture that she perceived as meddling. And South Korean singer Jin is planning to make a solo comeback with a new album. His agency stated that the BTS member has been working on it and aims to release it in November this year. In September, Jin revealed that he had finished recording for the album, and this would be the BTS star's first album after finishing his mandatory military service. Spider-Man actor Andrew Garfield and Dr. Kate Thomas have parted ways. Thomas revealed on social media that they broke up months ago. She was replying to a fan who wanted her to tell Garfield that he is the actor's admirer. Now, they were first linked in March of this year after being spotted at a restaurant in California. And according to reports, Angelina Jolie has decided to drop her abuse lawsuit against Brad Pitt. Reports state that she is happy with her decision. Jolie accused Pitt of physical and verbal abuse in 2016. The incident happened on a flight from France to Los Angeles, and the suit claimed that Pitt choked one of his children and hit another in the face. Pitt had denied all of these accusations. Australian actor Cate Blanchett attended the premiere of her film Rumours at the London Film Festival. The film is a political satire which tells the story of a G7 summit going awry. Blanchett stars as a German chancellor in the film. Meanwhile, actors Lupita Nyong'o and Pedro Pascal attended the London premiere of their upcoming film, The Wild Robot. Nyong'o calls it one of the most important films of her career, as it adds another layer to her legacy, while Pedro Pascal feels happy after doing the voiceover for the film. The film is scheduled to release on the 18th of October in the United Kingdom. And finally, horror film Terrifier 3 earned nearly $18 million in its opening weekend at the North American box office. The American Christmas supernatural slasher film stars Lauren Lavera and Elliot Fulham in the lead roles. It was reportedly made on a budget of around $2 million. And with that, it's a wrap on this edition of Fast and Factual. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned to Firstpost. Firstpost reports from the world's second largest continent.